Hello everybody, and welcome again to Universal Magic with Jamie. I'm Jamie Zunick, and I'm really excited to do this episode with you because this episode is about energy. We'll be defining what energy is and why this is important. Energy is probably the word you're going to hear me say over and over again in all of these videos because everything is energy. So, when we define energy, energy can mean different things to different people. Some people will describe it as a vibration, which is very true. Other people will feel it as a sensation, but I always think of energy as being a life force. The energy that we have is our life force energy that very much connects us to the universe and connects us to all living things. Now, in different cultures, people have different terms for this energy. In China, they use the term chi. In Japan, it's ki. In India, energy is known as prana. You will also hear terms like the soul, the spirit, the aura. It all means the very same thing. It's all this life force energy that we have. Now, one of the things that we can think about is, how do we get this energy? Well, of course, it's coming from the universe. We are very much connected to a higher power, to the universe, and we are channeling this energy in. Now, it's really interesting to think about channeling in this energy. I have a lot of people, when I'm doing readings for them, ask me about, well, what is my purpose? What is my mission? Why am I here? And one of the things that I always turn to, the idea that I always like to incorporate is from this book right here, Origin by Dan Brown. Now, what's really interesting is that this is a novel, but there is a section in this book that I thought was really interesting. Scientists were trying to discover the purpose of life. Why is there life on Earth? Well, one of the things that they discovered is that during the Big Bang Theory, when the universe was created, it put so much energy into the universe that if that energy didn't go somewhere and if it wasn't processed, you would just keep seeing these explosions happen. So that's why we are here. That's why life exists, because our bodies and plants and trees and animals, we're here to consistently process this energy so that the universe doesn't keep imploding. What a great purpose all of us have. We have such this wonderful purpose of taking in this energy, processing it, and then putting out energy as well too, as a way of constantly helping the universe move energy. Because that's something we always need to think about where energy is concerned. Energy cannot die. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can be processed, it can be bent, it can be manipulated, but it can never die. This, I think, is also really important when we talk about the soul and the spirit and physical death. The body is just a vessel. The body is just a vehicle that's getting us from point A to point B and helping us fulfill our life mission or our life purpose. The physical death will happen to all of us. The body will grow tired, it will get sick, it will die off. But the soul, the spirit, the energy is eternal, because that cannot be destroyed. So when we think about that, well, how did we get to these bodies anyway? How did that happen in the first place? Well, one of the things I think is really interesting is that with all of our energy being eternal, that actually means it always was, it always is, and it always will be. So this energy is always in the universe. As the energy begins to create, and this energy is moving, it starts condensing, it starts pulling together, it starts getting heavier. And as it condenses and pulls together and gets heavier, it forms into the human body. So we were created of energy. We are connected, we are created of that life force energy. So again, this brings us to another point that's really important. As long as we are channeling through this life force energy, not only are we helping the universe, but we're also helping our bodies stay very healthy, stay very vital. It is said in a lot of energy healing, like Reiki or healing touch or polarity, that a lot of times people experience physical illness because there's been some breakdown within their energy field first. And that's something that we need to consider. It's actually thought that most illnesses are actually energetic disturbances first. This is where we get the word dis-ease. Disease actually comes from that idea of dis-ease. We're not at peace. There's some problem with the energy that we're taking in, some problem with the flow of energy that we're taking in. So we actually need to heal that first so that the body can heal. Now, one of the things that I'm very fascinated with is how we all are connected by this universal energy. The energy that I have in my body is the very same that you have in yours. It's the very same that's in every tree, every plant, every animal. We're all sharing in the same energy. That's what connects us. It's really kind of funny because when I was a little girl, I was in Catholic schools throughout my entire education. But I always had this inner knowledge or this innate information about energy, because I can remember being 7 years old and sitting in my classroom one day, and I was just kind of bored, and I'm just kind of looking around, and I remember looking out at the front lawn of the school, and I remember seeing this tree in the front lawn, and I just sat there that afternoon looking at that tree and thinking, I can put my energy in that tree. I can trade energy with that tree, and I can be outside right now. And I don't know why, but I just felt so pulled to that tree. And I think that could have been one of my earliest experiences with astral projection, because I just felt like my energy going out of the classroom, outside, out to the front yard, out into this tree, because I just felt very connected to that tree. But we're like that with every living thing. We have this connection. I think that's really important to remember, because any time that we have a hateful or negative thought, any time that we have a very negative emotion, every time that we hurt another person, either by physically attacking them or by saying some nasty thing to them, it's causing ripples in this energy. We're all affected. I know that if I say something nasty to a stranger I see on the street, that's going to come back around to affect my family, to affect me. It's all the same energy. And so we really have to think about these energy waves that we're putting out and how we're connecting to other people. Because scientists are really finding out right now, which I think is so interesting. Scientists are really discovering right now that there is an energy grid around the universe and especially around the Earth. Now, this energy grid actually means that everything is actually connected, because we're all feeding off of and feeding into this energy grid. And they're actually proving, scientists are actually proving the butterfly effect. Now, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about the butterfly effect and what that actually is. And I know may not be getting the words exactly right. So if you have any additional information about this, please let me know. But the butterfly effect is actually the idea that if a butterfly flaps its wings in Australia, could that cause a hurricane in Florida? And scientists are actually finding that, yes, we are all connected. And any vibration we make into this energy grid is actually going out to the rest of the world and affecting all of us. And so that's why we really have to be very careful, because not only with our actions, but remember, thoughts and emotions are actions and things as well, too, that carry energy that, again, we're sending out to the rest of the world. Now, having said that, one of the things I think is really interesting about how we affect other people, sometimes I have people coming to me and saying things like, Jamie, I think I've been cursed. Okay, could be a possibility, because there are a lot of people out there who could be sending out a lot of negative thoughts and negative energy. But one of the things that I do try to remind everybody is that you are really in charge of your own energy. You are the keeper of your own energy. And whether it's healthy or not is actually your choice. Whether this energy is positive or negative is your choice. Whether or not someone can attack you and attack your energy, again, is all your choice. I really have the belief that nobody can put a curse on you without your permission. If you are keeping yourself positive, if you are keeping yourself in good health, if you are keeping yourself moving forward in very beautiful, positive ways, I don't think that anyone can have that deep of an effect on you. However, I do think that there are a lot of people who are empaths. Now, that's something we can talk about in a little bit more detail in our next couple of videos. But when we look at an empath is somebody who really feels energy very deeply. I know a lot of people who who may be anxious or may be struggling with depression just because of the fact that they're carrying other people's pain. It's not always their pain. It's not always their emotions that they're feeling. They're feeling it from everybody else. Now, one of the things I think is very important to point out with that is I have people tell me things like, well, I can't be in crowds of people because I'm too much of an empath. It is very true that people's energy can have an effect on you. You can begin to feel headachy or nauseous around a lot of people's energy. But something I think is very important for us to remember too is that as a true empath, you not only feel negativity, but you also should feel the positive as well too. So if someone experiencing a lot of joy, if you're a true empath, you will be very open to feeling that joy as well too. If someone is incredibly happy, you will feel that joy, that happiness, that excitement as well too. So it's not always negative. So you don't have to worry about being around other people because you're an empath. Just really enjoy the experience of other people being excited, being happy. Don't deny that from yourself as well too. You should be able to pick up on all emotions if you are an empath, which brings us to another point as well too. I have a lot of people asking me, and that's why we're even doing these videos, about how can I start reading energy? How can I start feeling energy? And one thing that I remind them is you're already doing it. You're already reading energy. As I said in my introductory video, is that all of us have the ability to do this. It's just your choice whether or not you're focusing on it. And so let me give you an example. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly went, oh, there's a lot of tension in here, right? Have you ever felt that? Or have you ever approached someone and thought, this may not be a good time to talk with them? Because you can feel their emotion. You can feel it very deeply. Or have you ever walked down the street and somebody just made you kind of uncomfortable? So you felt like, maybe I just better be careful as I go down the street. It's because we're already energy. Now keep in mind, our own emotions, our own experiences, and our own biases can also be playing into that. And so that's something we have to be really honest with ourselves about. But at the same time, we are always still reading this energy. All right. Now, one of the things then that I do want to remind everybody of is that if we are feeling all of this energy, positive, negative, and happy, and sad, and all of these different energies, one of the things that we really have to think about is this idea of, do we really want to sit with this heavy and negative energy sometimes? Now, a lot of people will experience this. They will experience the anxiety, will experience the depression, will wonder where my life is going, what is my purpose, will I ever succeed, will I ever find anyone to love? And our mistake sometimes is that we want to sit with that energy and just brood over it. Well, we have to be very careful with that, because any time that we sit with that energy and just brood over it, it just makes it worse. So one of the things that I really remind people is that this energy, in order to be healthy, it's got to keep moving. So anytime you begin to feel any negative emotions, or anytime you start to feel just upset or sad, don't let yourself sit with that. Get up and move. Dance, sing, run around the block, exercise, jump up and down, clap your hands, stamp your feet. Just anything that you can do to get that energy moving. Cry if you have to. Emotions are the best way to move energy. And so if you even need to, just sit down and have a good cry. This is all about the law of attraction, which is something, again, we can talk about in another video, about the law of attraction. Remember, whatever energy you are sending out into the universe is what you're getting back. The universe is a mirror. If we are sitting here saying, nobody's ever going to love me, the universe is going to say, okay, nobody's ever going to love you. This is why affirmations are so important. That's the energy that you're sending out in a very positive way, positive statements about who you are. But again, we can save that for another class. Now, let's talk about feeling energy. There is no right or wrong way. and how you experience and feel the energy. This is something I experienced in a lot of classes that I've been teaching. I start off by showing people different techniques of this is how you can feel the energy. But then I find that people experience it in different ways. I had a class one time where I was showing someone, all right, bring your hand down slowly and start feeling the other person's energy as you're getting closer to the body. And she was saying, not feeling it. I said, well, get a little close. Not feeling it. We'll pull up a little bit. We'll clear your mind. And I'm trying to give her all these ideas, and she's like, not feeling it. And all of a sudden she went, oh, now I got it. And it was just that act of flipping her hand over that she finally got it. So this is why. Did I tell her she was wrong? Absolutely not. That's how she experienced it. So you can use any living thing, because as we said, all things have energy. This is my Christmas cactus. This is Cece. I call her Cece or Sissy. Either one. She responds to either one. And she's going to demonstrate for just a moment. So whenever you are feeling the energy on another living thing, make sure that you have very positive intentions. You don't want to come in angry, because again, that's going to affect the living thing that you are coming in contact with. So again, you want to have clear your thoughts, be in a real positive mindset. And what we're going to do is bring our hand up high, slowly bring our hand in. I'm already feeling Sissy's energy right up here. It's very, very strong. I'm feeling it right here. So you can do this on your pets. You can do this on your plants. You can go outside and work with trees. You can work on another person. Again, you want to come in with very positive thoughts. Now, what am I feeling? Let's talk about that for just a moment. Did you ever do this when you were a child? Rub your hands together very, very quickly. And then as you bring your hands apart, slowly begin to bring your hands in together. And a lot of people will feel this in very different ways. I'm feeling my energy right here. Some people will feel it as tingling into their fingers. Other people will feel it as warmth or coldness, a real change in temperature. What I normally feel is like I'm trying to push two magnets together. I feel like I'm bringing my hands in together, and so I kind of hit this roadblock where I'm feeling like, I'm feeling it right here. That's as far as I can push my hands in together. And so that's how I usually feel it, is working with two magnets. Now, remember, there's no positive or negative way for you to do this, for you to experience it. It's just however your energy is perceiving this. All right? Now, a lot of people ask me about seeing energy. Now, one of the things to really think about is that, first of all, people find it much easier to feel the energy first before they start to see it. Other people will just immediately begin to pick up light in other people. Again, there's no right or wrong way. About seeing energy, one of the things that's really important to remember is that you don't see it first and then you believe it. You have to believe it first and then you see it. And so what I would suggest you do is just get yourself out somewhere where you can just sit back, be quiet, and observe the people around you. And keep the thought in mind that everybody is light. Everybody is energy. And so as you think about that, watch the people around you and just see if you can just pick up some sparks of light. I had this experience. I was at a mall one day, and I just happened to go through the food court, and I was just sitting in the food court, and I just started kind of people watching, and it just seemed like everybody who walked by me, I was not seeing their physical body, I just saw these sparks of light coming from them. And so just keep in mind that everybody is energy and everybody is light, and then see if you can start seeing sparks of light. Now, a lot of times people don't start seeing color in other people's aura until they really begin to work with energy a little bit more. So don't get upset if you don't suddenly start seeing light or colors. If you don't start seeing colors around people, that will come in time. First thing that you want to recognize is the light, the glow, just the energy sparks that you can see around other people. Remember, you have to believe it first before you see it. All right? So if you do have any questions about this energy information, please comment below. I'm going to show you a few exercises, though, that you can do in order to pick up your energy. But before I do that, again, people always ask me about books. that they would like me to suggest for them. And there's all kinds of aura books you can get. For instance, we have this one, A Little Bit of Auras, that really does take you through just some real basic information to begin with about the auras and our energy levels. I also have Energy Strands by Denise Linn, which is a great book. Denise Linn has a whole series of books out in which she really works with energy in very beautiful ways. So that's another one I would suggest to you. This book is one of my favorites, the Aura book, and the reason it's one of my favorites is it has such beautiful pictures and drawings in it. It's just a real colorful guide into looking at the energy. This is something I would suggest you all do. If you are really wanting to practice the energy, get picture books first. Get picture books and just go through, and it doesn't have to be about auras, just anything where you can see beautiful works of art. All right, and just start looking at the colors and the design. That can start becoming more visual, and looking at artwork can help you do that. So that's something I would really encourage you to do. Now, these two books are my favorite. We have Light Emerging, and we have Hands of Light. Both of these books are by Barbara Ann Brennan, and she does some really amazing work with energy. I would suggest these two books to you. However, these are the books I was even using as textbooks when I was teaching classes on energy. The only thing I would suggest to you, though, is that you may want to read more of the a little bit of auras first, or there's other books out like Energy Made Simple, because her books really get into a lot of quantum physics. And so if you're not quite ready for that yet, a lot of other books like in the Made Easy series by Hay House could be very, very beneficial for you. All right. Now, I also would suggest The Law of Attraction, because again, this is all about the energy you're sending out and what energy returns to you. So if you don't have any questions, oh, and just one last thing as far as books are concerned, I would suggest you read biographies, lots of biographies. I talked last week about reading biographies on people's spiritual journeys, but any biography that you pick up or history book that you pick up, really feel the emotion of the person in that story, in that book, in that lifetime. Feeling emotion is another great way of feeling energy. Becoming an empath is a great way of feeling energy. So reading biographies, history, things like that could also be very much opening you up to universal energy. I would also suggest, if you get a chance to get out to a fair, get an aura picture done. This was done by Chris and Judy. They are so amazing. They go to a lot of fairs throughout the Midwest, and I would really suggest you work with them. The Aura Imagining System is what they work with, and they do such beautiful work. And Judy will actually sit with you and tell you about the colors in your energy and what they all mean. So I would really recommend that you get one of those done, especially if you do want to start seeing auras, so you can start seeing all the different colors. All right? So if there are no more questions, everybody, I'm going to push the chair all the way, start some music, and I'll show you some energy exercises that you can do. Now, one of the things to always keep remembering that is really important for us all to think about is that breath moves energy. You never want to hold your breath, because every time you hold your breath, the energy doesn't move. So remember that whenever you get anxious or stressed, nice deep breaths, and these exercises should help you. So we're going to stand with our feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in, and as I do, I'm going to pull my arms up. And then slowly let my arms drift back down. And the way that we can think about this, everyone, is that we're gathering up universal energy, and we're moving it down through our auras. Now, it's completely up to you how many times you would like to do this. One thing I suggest, again, if you're feeling very anxious, deep breath up, release the breath as your hands come down. And you can do this until you become relaxed. It's a very simple movement, If you cannot stand, then even doing this in a chair would be very good. But let's actually do exercises with our legs as well too. So I'm going to stand shoulder width apart. I'm going to rock up on my toes and back on my heels. Now, one of the things that we want to remember is that when we come back on our heels, rock back on our heels, we don't want to be throwing ourselves over backwards. It is just enough of a push back to let our toes come up in front. So even if I turn this way, whoop, come up, back down. All right. Now, once you get comfortable with that movement, we'll bring the arms into it. As I come up, my arms are going to come up. As I come back down onto my heels, my hands are going to float back down again. I'm not completely graceful. And again, remember the breathing. Deep breath up, float back down again. Deep breath up, breath out as you come down. And again, and you can go at your own pace. I may be going just a little bit faster. You can keep your time, take your time doing these. Now, what we also can do is just begin to rock from side to side. Just kind of rotate our hips around as we rock. And again, nice long deep breaths. Now, most of you have probably seen this one before. This has the name of wax on, wax off. So what I'm going to do is as I come onto my right side, bring my right hand in, to my left side, bring my left hand in. So I'm just going to keep rocking side to side, bring my hands in and out. And again, nice long deep breaths. I'm kind of doing this a little bit different because I always think that this is a way of really helping you with the breath as well too. So as I'm coming to my right side, I'm going to take a nice long deep breath in. As I'm coming to my left side, breath out. So breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. And just get to the point where you can feel your arms just beginning to kind of float a little bit. All right. Now here's another exercise that we can do. I'm going to turn to the side, and I'm going to push myself forward and back. Forward and back. Now, we want to be very careful doing this. As I come forward, my heel comes up and back. As I come back, my foot comes up in front. You don't want to have your feet planted very heavily into the ground because then you'll just be doing this and you can end up really pulling or straining your muscles. So we want to make sure we have enough flexibility, heel up and back, toes up in front. Get comfortable with the movement. And now we'll bring our hands up. Now, when you're moving your hands, again, we can think of breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. So especially too if you're working with anxiety or depression, we can also think of this as fresh new energy in, stress out. Fresh new energy in, stress out. Now, one of the things I want to mention to you as well is that as you are doing this, you always want to bring your hands back on the side where you have your leg in back. If I try to come the other way, I'm putting too much stress into my back here. So instead, we just want to push forward and back on the same side where we have the leg in back. Now, something else we always want to do is whatever we do to one side, we want to do to the other. We want that balance in all things. So again, we're pushing up and pulling back. Pushing up and pulling back. Now we can modify this a little bit. And the way I can modify this is I can really think about the energy coming up through my body. So we're going to do a movement called the wheel. And what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to face forward, face in the direction that I have the leg in front. And as I come forward, I'm going to pull the energy up and send it back out. And I'm moving in a circular direction with my hands. Nice smooth movements, everybody. And again, I'm just going to do that a little bit on this side as well too. And again, bring the energy up, push it back out. Bring the energy up, push it back out. All right. Now, last thing I'm going to show you for today is a meditative pose. And this is something a student showed me one time, and I really do like it, so I want to show it to you as well too. So what I'm going to do is bring my hands straight out, my palms facing each other. I'm going to place my right arm over my left. I'm going to turn my hands inward, lock my fingers together, and then bring my hands underneath and up and place my right foot over my left. And then we just hold and take some nice long deep breaths. And again, you can hold this for as long as you need to. This is a really great meditative pose to use to balance out the right and left side of your brain. It also helps, again, like we said, to balance out your energy. Okay. And then again, whatever we do to one side, we want to do to the other. So I'm going to bring the left hand over the right, hold hands, under and up, left over right. And again, nice long deep breaths. And it's completely up to you how long you'd like to hold those. And then when you're ready, you can just relax. All right. So again, everyone, if you do have any questions, or if there's anything that you would like to see in upcoming videos, please make sure that you subscribe, that you like this video, that you make a comment about what you're interested in. Again, too, if you are interested in the handout that I have for the energy, please let me know and I can email that out to you. You can email me at my name, jamiezunick@gmail.com. Now, before I close this, I'm going to leave you with a little story of something that happened to me several years ago. I was teaching at a massage school. And we had a really beautiful massage room. It looked like a ballet studio to me, actually, because it had beautiful hardwood floors, and it was just a really nice room. We had 10 massage tables, and at each massage table, we had a small little cushioned stool on wheels. So these little rolling stools that we would use to do like neck massages and everything. Well, every day after class, before I would dismiss the class, I would have all of the students, they had to clean all the tables, they had to make sure all the linens were put away, all the massage bottles were filled, and they always had to make sure that there was a stool at the head of every table. So we have 5 tables on this side, 5 tables on this side, and then there was a stool in front of each table. So I went ahead and dismissed the class one afternoon. I went over, I locked the door. I started walking back towards the massage office. I go into the office that's in the back of the massage room, and all of a sudden I hear this weird sound. I hear the sound of like these rolling stools being pushed across the hardwood floor. I'm like, what is that? I walk out to the massage room, and I'm like, hello, is anyone still in here? I walked to the massage room, I didn't see anybody. I went over and checked the door. No, I had locked the door. The door was locked, nobody could have gotten in. Look around again, I don't see anybody. I go back to the massage room. I hear it again. These stools rolling across the floor. What is that? I go back into the massage room again. I take a look, all the tables, all the stools are right in place at the head of every table, just lined up down the center of the room like they were supposed to be. Walked around the room, I didn't see anyone. Hello, is anyone here? Check the door again. No, it's locked. Go back to the massage office again. Same thing happened again. I come out of the massage office as I'm hearing these stools rolling across the floor. Look around. I don't see any problem. I don't see anything out of place. Check everything again. No problem. I turn to go back to the massage office, and just as I turn, I hear the noise again. So I quickly turn back around. All of the stools now are pushed up against the back wall. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so I kept, and that was just a split second. It was just a split second from where I turned to go back to the massage room when I heard the noise again. I spun back around. All the stools now had been moved up to the back wall. I didn't stay around to figure it out. I just went ahead and grabbed my bag and left. But we had all kinds of strange occurrences happening in that massage room. So let me ask you this. What do you think that was? Why do you think that happened? Do you think that there could have been a spirit in the massage room that was, playing with the stools and moving those chairs around? Do you think it could have been a lot of residual energy? Because I had all my students in there. We had like 20, 25 students. Could have just been all the energy from the students that caused things to be moved around on their own, or with the energy in the massage room. Could it be a time slip? That's something I wondered about. Could it have been a time slip? Because there was a time when we first opened the massage studio that I used to have the students line up the stools against the back wall. So I wondered about that. Could it have been a time slip where all the stools went back to where they were originally supposed to be a couple of months ago? I still don't know what that was. If you have any ideas or any thoughts about that, again, please comment it, everybody. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you have any questions. And I really appreciate everybody being so supportive. I've heard such great feedback. I'm still learning YouTube. I'm still learning how to edit. So you'll see all kinds of little flubs here and there. But it is what it is. I'm just so happy to be working with all of you. And I figure what you're seeing on video probably would have even happened if you were in a live classroom with me. So we're just going to go with everybody and have some fun. So everybody have a great afternoon. Thank you so much for watching this video. You all take care, and I look forward to seeing you. Oh, next video is on the 7 layers of the energy field. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.